Hello, I'm Scotty.
Hello, I'm Rhys.
We're here with Geek Reversal to talk about Marvel vs DC, some of what Marvel's done right, some of what DC's done wrong, and the other way around. Just have people's personal preference on it. If you want to comment underneath, say anything you thought about the video, that'd be nice. So yeah, like Marvel. Marvel's already a big player in the cinematic
Mm,
universe, whereas DC's trying to almost match the same level as DC in a way.
yeah, and they're rushing it like a bit too.
Bit too much. Yeah,
Yeah,
they're trying to create the same hype that Marvel has, whereas Marvel
but it's like they
build the
did a
hype.
good out, but like Marvel seems to have this advertising campaign that's just it's unbeatable. Like it
Yeah,
gets you hype for any film they do. DC just kind of they seem extremely confused with what they're doing.
DC don't know like how DC don't have the marketing, whereas they have to put all this investment into marketing, whereas um, all Marvel have to do at this point is kind of just say it's happening, and
Yeah,
then people like create their own hype to the extent where it's actually fan art posters at this point, which is ridiculous.
yeah, but it's like with Batman vs Superman. You kind of knew they were going to team up at the end, no matter what happened. They didn't need to
Yeah,
show it, and they didn't need to show the main bad guy like straight away,
yeah,
like Doomsday.
Doomsday.
And
Yeah,
he's that big of a character to kill him off in one film.
it's a bit ridiculous.
Yeah, and now it's kind of gone out the way to ruin the next film because Doomsday's one of the biggest hitters in the DC universe.
Mm,
He's beaten Darkseid, who's the main villain for the Justice League.
yeah.
So Wonder Woman, she's going into World War Two when we've already seen her beat someone that big.
Yeah,
Kind of makes that film pointless.
you're just gonna look at the film and be like, well, you know what's gonna happen. There's not gonna be much drama, and even if there is much drama, it's not gonna make sense because you can beat someone that big of a that big of a superhero mainstay. She's not gonna be able to. Soldiers and everything, and whatever she's fighting in the new DC Wonder Woman, it's just gonna be a bit shit, really, isn't it?
Yeah. Uh, so that yeah, it's just that. It's like you know she's gonna live.
Yeah.
You know the person whose love interest she's with, he's gonna die.
Hmm.
So in that way, it's almost like it's copying off of well, not really, but is because they're very similar characters. Captain America and Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
One doesn't age, but they still go into the future watching everyone they love die. So love interest in the first film.
Yeah. He's
I
gonna.
think his name's Steve.
Steve played by Chris Pine, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then there's um, Peggy, like the one in Captain America, the first Avenger.
Yeah. She's Agent Carter.
Like
Yeah.
she dies in the most recent Captain America. No, the second one.
Second one. Did she die?
Of old age.
Oh yeah, she does, doesn't she?
No, a funeral's in
In the third one.
Civil War,
Civil
but
War, yeah, it's in the Civil War. In the second one, you see her like just
she's on her deathbed
she's like
basically.
yeah, just Alzheimer's stuff like that, like really messing up. See, what I don't like about Marvel is they don't kill off any mainstay characters in the actual like
They seem
films.
to like fake death everyone. Like
Yeah,
now, there's Phil Coulson, Nick Fury, um, Agent Coulson,
Agent Coulson, War Machine,
War Machine, and Loki.
and Iron Man in Avengers, who
Yeah,
seemed to die and then looked like he was playing a joke. I don't like that. I think for a cinematic universe to be that big, there at least has to be
mm,
some deaths in it, if you know what
yeah,
I
but
mean.
they've
Like,
like got to the point now where like it's like someone needs to die. Someone like Quicksilver, they introduced him for one film, killed him.
even though he could have actually been a really good character. I mean,
He like yeah, to be honest, he's one of the more interesting ones.
he is.
Like, but they literally
Especially the story like plot they developed for him and his sister in the Avengers in Avengers 2, which was like I thought it could have been really interesting, but they
and
kind
now
of
the
killed
the
that.
plot in Marvel's like really confusing as well.
Yeah, see they do that with like the comics as well as the films. They just kind of go off in so many directions.
Yeah,
Eventually,
if you
nobody's
miss
going to know
one,
what's
you
happening.
kind of.
Yeah,
But it's like the Infinity Stones. It's like we know where they all are now.
yeah.
There's still that one missing, so we know that's gonna have to be settled.
So yeah, there's no. I think we need a film where it doesn't like focus on the Infinity Stones, like an Avengers film, not about the Infinity Stones,
Yeah,
or just even a film that doesn't really tie into it. Because even Guardians of the Galaxy has got nothing to do with the Avengers tying into Infinity Stones. Right?
yeah. It's like say the one film in Marvel I'm proper looking forward to now is Black Panther.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to
Entirely
Black
new
Panther.
cast, all black.
Hmm.
Spider-Man: Homecoming, Robert Downey Jr. isn't it?
Is it?
Why? Like, why should he be in it?
It doesn't need to be in it. Is it like a cameo appearance or is it like a full appearance?
He's just been mentioned, like, so that could be a
Could
cameo.
be. If it was a cameo, it wouldn't be too bad.
That's what. Yeah, I think that would be good. But
Yeah,
it's kind of like,
because he does exist in the same world ultimately as Iron Man, doesn't he? So
yeah, but it's
possible.
like he's kind of their face now, like, because forward he's not a big hitter in the money making.
No, he's
Like,
not. Iron Man's always been. Iron Man brought the universe off it, like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, up,
yeah,
and they've just kind of stuck with him after that, and that kind of sucks, to be honest,
mm,
because he's not the best character, in my opinion. In my opinion, Captain America is the best character. I'll always
yeah,
stick with that. But what I do like about the Marvel Cinematic Universe is they can make a joke every now and then.
yeah.
Whereas the DC universe seems to take itself quite seriously, even when it's not really a good film.
Mm.
Like,
It's like it's hard to be a DC fan at the minute as well, because like say there's that many directors walking out. It seems like with Marvel, they obviously have a plan. Like they have like Marvel has the
it's been set out
phases.
already what's happening. Yeah.
Yeah. DC appears to have the same thing because every director that's left says what they want isn't going to be done.
Yeah. So
It's
DC
quite
have a
clear.
different plan to
Yeah.
what the directors have.
But it makes sense. Like Man of Steel, one of I think the most realistic representations of a man that strong fought someone else as strong, that much destruction would happen. Like
Yeah.
it's like they seem to think like what was it? Avengers 1. They managed to contain an invasion to like a city block and the only thing that really got broken was a bridge and a few windows.
Yeah.
Like in a
And like
building
half a
every now and
building,
again.
like half a building.
Yeah, and then there's like basically someone who's a god, Superman.
Yeah, they've seemed to got the destruction right on it, whereas I think Marvel's aimed more towards kids, isn't it? To be honest, so they couldn't really show like destruction, as well out of worried of, you know, parental groups just like jumping down the throats about it.
Yeah, there's like a few things as well that just like they set it up perfectly. I think for Batman vs Superman, even though it was more of a Batman film, I feel
It was more of a Batman film. There's no doubt about
but
it.
it's like the first half of the film is probably exactly what would happen in the world, like because you can't catch Superman, can't make him like do what you want because basically
He's indestructible on Earth.
yeah, and like the one man, Batman, who just has contingency plans for everything, obviously fears him for a reason because for the first time in his life he feels vulnerable.
Yeah, like he's not the only person that can
Since
effectively
his
beat the
parents'
crap out of
death.
someone.
And basically seeing children orphaned and all that, like
Yeah.
the exact same thing that happened to him. He could hurt his parents' murderer, but not Superman, so he can't avenge that girl's.
Yeah.
And then the second he has a chance to basically bring Superman to justice, he takes a chance.
And I did like how they kind of made it so Superman was a fair fight in that. I mean, usually you would think it wouldn't just be a one-sided like competition in that. But I did like how he almost won and effectively could have killed Superman.
I think that's it. It's like people seem to like hate the Martha thing as well, with good reason, really.
Yeah, I mean, but, kind of a shallow reason, isn't it?
Yeah, but there's like if you proper look into it, what they tried conveying was just basically Batman looks at Superman through the entire film like he's just an alien. He's a threat. That's it. As soon as he says Martha, even though it's like a thing, it just makes that connection. Like, because that's a thing that's never really addressed in the comics, the fact that Batman and Superman have their mother has the same name. It's not really addressed at all. But
no.
The film's like the first time to do it, and that's probably why it stood out so much for like why.
They could have found it. I think they could have found a better reason, but it is interesting.
Yeah,
why.
but it's like I said, basically Batman sees him as this threat through the entire film, and then the second he says that, it gives him that connection of he's not just a threat, he is a person, like.
Yeah.
And maybe he like turned the gun a bit too soon, but then when he realised like my mother's name's Martha, It's like, what did he say after? He went, Martha's not gonna die tonight, so that became personal for him. So
it did, yeah. Like he could save his mum through Superman in a way.
Because while he had the power, he could go and finally, I don't know, prove himself. Like,
yeah.
And then the fight scene afterwards was just. I don't think it's something Marvel could ever replicate that, because like
No,
Captain America is like very like stylized with the throwing of the shield and everything, but Batman just clobbered people.
Yeah.
Like when he shot people with his grapple, he went through their arm and then just ragged them.
Yeah, and he wasn't afraid of killing people. This Batman, that was kind of interesting.
That's the thing people don't get. Like as well, he don't
I
kill
understand
that many
why
people.
that though. I understand because his dad went to in all the other Batman adaptations, his dad just kind of surrenders to this gunman, whereas in this one he kind of put up a fight. He's thinking, oh, if my dad can put up a fight, I'm going to put up a fight, but this time I'm not going to get shot in the face. Effectively.
So the thing as well, it's like basically it's kind of hinted that he wasn't always like that, because the Batman at the beginning, who goes like, there's a new kind of evil in him, like a new kind of angry. Like, the reason he's saying that is because obviously something's changed, and that thing is Robin's death.
Robin's death, yeah.
His biggest failure.
Well, we're not. Are we sure he's dead? We're not sure he's dead. We just don't know. We know he's not there.
It was kind of like hinted that he may be the Joker, but he's not. Like they've confirmed that it just isn't. But
we don't know, like, if he's dead.
It is true.
Is it true?
Because Suicide Squad, when it's introducing Harley Quinn, says in the bottom left corner, Maniac, Killer, do you know when it's like Killer in the aid of like Killer of Robin?
Oh.
So Robin is dead.
Robin's dead. That's
yeah.
But back on like the Marvel vs DC kind of situation, the two last films for DC were like panned by critics as Batman vs Superman, Suicide Squad. Batman vs Superman I thought was bad, it was panned by critics. I thought it was actually not a terrible film.
It wasn't a terrible film. It was just really like I said, the people who must have cut that up did it in such a way that it makes sense at the end. Like the Lex Luthor ending, just where he's going, they are coming. It just like to take out such a massive like build up to the next film. And then it seemed like they were doing it with Suicide Squad as well, saying like the Joker like had another 20 minutes of scenes.
Yeah.
But then they got them again. They even went like they said the only Joker bits that are going to be added is 2 minutes long.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Oh, I was hoping for like half an hour of cut there.
Yeah.
But the last two films with Marvel were quite successful. Like, was it Deadpool and...
Deadpool's owned by Fox, though. That's the difference.
Deadpool's owned by Fox, but it is a Marvel film when it comes to it.
It's Disney, like, the main, backers of it now, because, like, no one counts X-Men. And it's kind of so crap that they don't.
Yeah, because X-Men's a really good franchise.
But they've had their, like, troubles as well. Like, what was it? X-Men 3, that was it. That's the one with the Phoenix. That was just a massive, like...
Is that Apocalypse?
No, they started going into the future after the third one. They went to X and Wolverine Origins.
Yeah, and then Days of Future Past.
Yeah. And basically, they just wanted to cancel out X-Men Wolverine's Origins because that was crap as well. And then they finally made a way of kind of erasing that history and making their own thing.
Yeah.
And now it seems like they are gonna give like Deadpool more leeway, but like you said, they're not owned by Disney at the minute. Like the movie universe just can't be connected to them in any way, which is a sad thing really, because like once they introduced Spider-Man, the hype for that was amazing. The only thing that could beat it, like, is Wolverine.
Yeah, Wolverine. When his trailer came out, it almost broke the internet. So the new Wolverine film, Wolverine 3.
Yeah.
I don't know what storyline that's gonna or universe, because there's a lot of universes now with the X-Men. Like you're not sure what's going to be happening because the timelines change so much more than actually in the Flash series, to be honest. Yeah. So nobody actually knows what's happening yet, but I can't wait to find out. The trailer didn't look Wolverine to me.
Yeah.
But it looked interesting.
It looks like it's going to be a lot different, but it's like Marvel does, like, everyone says they steal from each other different things, and it's true. But I think they're allowed like a little bit of inspiration, because you got to say how many characters can you compare in each universe.
I mean,
like Superman, Sentry, Batman and Captain America. Like,
effectively, yeah.
it's
Well, Batman I'd say is more like Iron Man.
yeah, and then Captain America's Superman,
Yeah.
and then like yeah, it's just one of those where like you can't not compare them. And when you're just talking about superpowers, it's hard not to go like, well, they have them as well. You're stealing from them.
Yeah.
It's like it's impossible.
Yeah, because when it comes down to it, there's only like a finite amount of superpowers that aren't going to sound stupid.
But then there's ones where like I have a belief that Superman's never going to be the best superhero because he can just do too much. Like he's too.
You know he's going to always like come back or live
Yeah,
through
it's like when they killed him. Like it was obvious that
something was going to happen.
Yeah, they were obviously going to bring him back, but then that was another thing that I believe DC did wrong. They just Batman vs Superman. It was mainly a Batman film, and I'm not complaining about that because I think that was.
It needed the explanation, whereas Superman already had like his.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think they did well to like introduce the character in that short amount of time.
I think they did do well on that.
Yeah, but it's like what was the point was it trying to make? It's mainly a Batman film, and also they've tried fitting too much into one film. Say they tried right then. So the Batsuit, the metal one, is from a comic. What's it called? Oh, honestly, I can't think of it off the top.
But it's based from one of the comics.
Yeah, because basically Superman sides with the government and they use him as a weapon, and basically.
And they did hint at that, like him like working for the government, like.
Exactly, and in a universe where that happened, Batman makes a suit to basically fight him off. That's the exact same suit. So that storyline, like, they even take like lines out of the comic, like straight out of it. Like, I bet your parents taught you.
So we could be looking something very interesting for the prequel to Batman vs Superman, Batman in there.
No, like I think that's one of the things. If the next film is going to be a prequel.
I think it will be. I think they need to explain
possibly,
it.
Yeah.
Well, they led it to on much would they?
Yeah. Sorry, back to that point. They tried fitting. I think it was 3 separate like massive comics into one.
Yeah, the 3 Batman mainstays into one film.
So no, not Batman mainstays like Superman. So Death of Superman.
Oh.
Which one was it? Death of Superman. They tried including Doomsday, the biggest guy.
Yeah.
Batman's main like film where the main comic where like he fights Superman and wins. It's like heavily based off of that, and they've tried fitting so much in one film. Like it was a bit too ambitious.
Yeah, and didn't have the time scale for it with the film itself.
Yeah.
Especially with Wonder Woman coming in. I mean, I don't really think Wonder Woman added much to it.
A good it was like a sneak peek, but then like it was quite good because even though she was there for a short while, she was still
quite cool and
it improved the film. It felt like it definitely added to it.
I don't think it did. I think it kind of like kind of made it more stretched to me. I didn't enjoy her contribution to it particularly.
It was just like if they hadn't shown it in the advert, it would have been a good surprise. I believe like I think if it just brilliant. Went because when she's walking back from like the the plane and she goes Diana Prince, like that would have been such a like
it just would have been nice the moment where everyone in the cinema's like
yeah, and then when she actually goes to fight, it's just like alright then she.
See, that's what Marvel's good at. That's what Marvel's great at, them little moments in cinemas, especially with the end bits. You know, like after the credits roll and you've got them like bonuses. I remember seeing Wolverine, which is Fox, but still it's Marvel when it comes down to it, and like Charles Xavier rolling out, even though he died in the last X-Men film, just thinking, whoa, what's happening here? He's back. And, yeah, everyone in the cinema was like.
See that one was like there was 2 endings to that, weren't there? Like basically Charles didn't come back, and then there's one where like he got blown to bits. So I think he got transported into someone's head, and then in the next film he looks exactly how he did. Yeah. I know that's a time thing, but like they went and changed it.
But yeah, like what the point I'm trying to make is they get better at them shock elements, whereas I think like DC's one of them kids that can't like
they really need to like
presence. Yeah.
They really need to like make those elements like as a.
They need the shock factor like Marvel.
Yeah. Like if I was DC now, because there was a scene, because Doomsday's the best, like one of the best bad guys there is. What they should do, because they hinted that on Krypton a creature like that had been made before, because it says we shall never make an abomination like this again. Whereas the Krypton's cancelled, like thingy, we'll make it. they should say that's not the real Doomsday. They should say the last time they did it, that Doomsday is still alive.
Yeah, this is like a creation of Doomsday.
Yeah, it's like a pale imitation of him, and then just bring like the full
Doomsday back, which could not just be take on Batman vs Superman, could destroy the world in effectively one punch.
Yeah, like was it? They got it right though. Like he's not the strongest suit. Like everyone says he was like a bit too destructive, but he isn't the strongest he's ever been. Like there's a Superman comic where he sneezes and destroys a galaxy.
I've not seen that one, but that sounds.
It's like
cool.
literally 2 panels, and he's got wabam, and then the universe gone. It's unreal, but like it's hard to depower a hero for
like Earth combat and like versus Batman. But effectively, what they've done is like got a big beefy guy from the gym to fight a toddler, and said that the toddler would win effectively.
That's literally what they've done. But if Batman had had more, like it feels like if Batman had more films, they would have been able to explain that he plans for the worst. He always has and always does.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Tony Stark, because him and Bruce Wayne are very similar characters, like you said. They have the same mindset of if there is a threat coming, like Avengers 2.
Yeah, Avengers 2.
He basically makes Ultron.
He makes Ultron, yeah, but in
fear of basically an invasion.
So he basically creates the enemy by the same fear as Batman has, but Batman doesn't create the enemy.
Yeah, and it's...
Well, he creates himself an enemy, he doesn't create an enemy for the Earth.
Yeah. Are we using this now? Like, shall we start?
I think we're kind of going to use this.
Yeah.
This has gone well.
Yeah, I think
there's... 1 second, let me just wrap it up with... what do you think...
we can still go for a bit longer if you want.
No, what do you think's better, the Marvel or the DC universe?
Depends, like, what you mean. Like, they cater to 2 very different audiences, and the biggest, loudest audience now is Marvel.
So, on paper, Marvel's definitely better.
Money-making wise, they've got to a point where there's no way they could fail. But it's kind of starts this argument of, like, because they're so big, you can't call them on any of the flaws.
The quality's still as good as it was when the Hulk came out and, like, Iron Man 1.
Like, the crowds have turned so against each other now, like, the fans of each fan base. Like, they just... It's, like, literally manslaughter. So, the main complaint with Superman was the Martha. Like, them saying Martha.
Yeah.
In Captain America Civil War, they say Bucky and he stops the entire fight just going, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
The exact same thing.
Pretty much, yeah. Like, even less. Like, Martha's got, like, a spiritual bond, like, a emotional thing, and then it's just Bucky saying stop, and everyone stops. It's kind of a... Yeah, I think DC's better if you want an actual dark film, like, with a bit of a twist to it, a bit of a... like, just to be a bit down in the gritty side of it. Whereas Marvel's better if you just want to, like, sit down.
That's like a family film. It's like...
Yeah.
With DC, because they like the films are so long, I do have to just sit there and watch them. But like, there were parts like when you make a film that big, like I said, they fit too much into it. It just took too long. Like, so it felt like even though I enjoyed it, there were scenes I actually almost went mental at. Like they hinted like characters, like they basically showed videos of every upcoming hero.
I think that's where they should have ended the film, to be honest. So the whole Superman.
I think that should have been the.
That should have been the end of the film. I was like, I was getting ready to leave at that point. I was like, oh, wait, now we're going to see Superman come back, even though we obviously knew that was going to fucking happen anyway, to be honest.
Yeah, but like I said, cater to 2 different audiences, so there's one on paper that's obviously better, which is Marvel. And that's just because now they have basically the formula to make the best film. And the movies that are coming out, they have that much hype behind them that there's no way they can go wrong. Like, even if the film's rubbish, it's not going to be good. And then, even though it's like a said thing, it's like I believe that Rotten Tomatoes wasn't wrong in what it said about the Batman film. I think it was a bit harsh, but...
Bit harsh, but not wrong.
Not, like, wrong. Like, but, what is it? When films like Iron Man 2 and, like, Thor 2, like, score better than it.
Like, I didn't like it. Iron Man 2 was terrible, and so was Iron Man 3, but... Like you said, they can't go wrong at this point, so the quality is going to decrease because Marvel know they're just going to pander to this audience, which is going to listen to it.
So you can't really say, like, the next like Wonder Woman, when that comes out, this obvious reaction is going to be Marvel fans are going to, not all, obviously,
Yeah,
but a lot of them are just going to start slating the film straight
and
away.
because they're a majority, it's like Apple versus Android in England. Like Apple's always going to win because they're a majority in England.
Exactly, and that's the thing. So really, it's all down to personal preference.
It is down to personal preference.
I enjoy both, but I don't think.
You can't tell people what they
Yeah, I don't think
enjoy
DC
more.
has its foot in the door yet. It's not for everyone.
They will
else.
get it though. I think they're going to get it with some of the new films that got coming out.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, that was great. Excellent.